Hello, in today's video I'm going to be doing a plant bloom showcase of my Albuca spiralis Frizzle Sizzle. So I'm not sure if Frizzle Sizzle is the variety because, on the tag it showed it as the variety, but when I'm looking on Wikipedia, it's showing that it's commonly called Frizzle Sizzle, so maybe that's not the variety, but rather the common name. Regardless, it's an Albuca spiralis. And this plant is actually a South African plant from the asparagus family. So it's not an orchid, but it is a monocot. And I got this one from Growing Works, which is a nursery in Camarillo. So let's get closer to the plant and I'll talk a little bit more about it. Okay, so here's the important part of the plant, the base. And let me also show you the tag. There you go. Well, let me do this. So yeah, there you go. Corkscrew, Albuca. Not sure if Frizzle Sizzle is a variety or the common name, but I already went over that. And now let's talk about what's going on down here. So it seems like this plant flowers before it goes into dormancy, I'm thinking, at least from what I've read very quickly online. When I first got them, there were beautiful, juicy little spirals of leaves. And then as the flower stalk progressed, because I got it when the flower stalk was about yay high, and you'll see a little bit later how tall it actually is. But at that point, the leaves were still green and beautiful, and then as the flower spike extended, the leaves sort of died back. But I read online that that is how it's supposed to go, so I'm not worried about them. Okay, so here's the actual flower stalk. And I'm kind of glad I waited for as long as I did to film this one, because now you can get sort of the full range of what the flowers look like, from the very newest buds down to like just opening. And then we have some down here that are like, let me see, I guess it would be like this one or this one over here that are like fully open and still lush. And then you can see as they start to grow old, the tips will brown. The tips of the sepals will brown, or I guess these are tepals because they all look the same. The outer tepals will brown, and then the inner tepals will brown, and then the whole thing just kind of does that. So let me get you closer to one of the flowers so you can kind of look at the morphology of it. Okay, so here's what I feel like is the best representation of a fully formed or nice juicy fully opened flower. So we got the three outer tepals, we got inner tepals. Actually, what I was reading online that's sort of interesting and like kind of plant nerdy about this is that like these leaves or these like tepals perform the function of a stigma. Like it's not like all contained like right on the actual reproductive parts. Like some of the flower petals or tepals, like they've sort of morphed into performing some like reproductive parts of or like reproductive actions of the actual flower, as opposed to like the typical like stamens and pistils that you would that would normally perform that function. But yeah, I actually haven't ever really like opened this up to like look at it, but oop, and I just broke this lower one. But yeah, it's got some I guess the regular whatchamacallums, I don't even know. It's like the morning and my plant brain isn't working yet. Yeah, these are the like general reproductive parts of the plant right here in the middle and all of that. You'll see they're like mostly like a light green. There's like some lime green at like the tips of the tepals, the inner tepals, but like they're not like a super visually interesting flower. I think the most interesting part about them is the fact that they face down, and they have such a weird like I don't know, arrangement. I don't even know how to describe this one. But on to the more interesting part. So when I looked online, what really sparked me to get this plant was that I saw a lot of people were like, ooh, it smells like vanilla, it smells like a bakery, blah blah blah. So I got it. I actually found one specifically that was in flower or producing a flower stalk because most of them weren't. And I waited patiently for them to open, and when they did open, they did not smell like vanilla or anything that I would find in a bakery. I said, fine, I'll wait and see how it goes. So I waited. I smelled them at night, I smelled them in the morning, and they still smelled weird. It actually smells very similar to my Phalaenopsis Hsia Focus crossed with Chienlung Corning Eagle, and I'll hopefully put a link down in the bottom to the bloom showcase of that flower. But it's got like a weird smell that I've never really smelled before. Online I saw it also described, a few people described it as smelling like green olives. So I'm assuming that's what it smells like, but I don't eat olives, so I can't really speak to the veracity of that claim. But it smells like, what is it? It's like sharp. It's like a little sharp. I literally can't even describe it. I've never smelled something like this. It's not unpleasant, and it doesn't smell a lot. So I would not pass on this plant just based on my description of the smell, because it is a very interesting flowering plant and interesting foliage plant as well when the leaves are green. Okay, so that's pretty much it about the Albuca spiralis Frizzle Sizzle. Got it from Growing Works. It's a South African plant. Super interesting foliage and flowers. And I think I got this one for like $25 at Growing Works. So if you can find it online or anywhere else, I would definitely pick it up because it's just super interesting. Most people have never even seen this plant, so you'll get a lot of interest on it, you know, when people like visit your home, or if you post videos on YouTube or Instagram or anywhere else. It's just a super interesting plant and fairly easy to grow. So online it says to keep it evenly moist, but I'm not sure if they're growing it like indoors or outside, because indoors I have a little bit higher humidity than outside, so I have a little bit more leeway as far as like letting my plants dry out a little bit. But regardless, there's tons of care stuff online, so don't take my word for it, especially since I got it like a month ago or something. But yeah, this has been the plant bloom showcase of my Albuca spiralis Frizzle Sizzle. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!